Minister of Works and Urban Renewal Philip Davis says he's pleased with the progress of urban renewal for the past 5 months. He was addressing Toastmasters Club 7108 today when he gave it an A grade.
We implemented it within 2 days after we were elected to office, and that one initiative has shown that the violent killings are trending downward. We're not touting it now because we don't think it ought to be something we're touting, but I think people are feeling safer now. Yes, there are still 1 or 2 killings going on, but people are feeling safer about that program.
The Deputy Prime Minister also spoke about the success of the recently reinstated school-based policing initiative. In fact, since the start of the new academic year, Mr. Davis says police have confiscated a considerable number of weapons.
It has been shown and manifested that with police officers in schools, right, the tendency, first of all, you inspire you inspire more discipline in students. You inspire some respect for authority, and the carrying of arms to school has diminished.
There's still no sign of a man who went overboard inside his vehicle at the Potters Key dock last evening. Defense Force Harbor Patrol Unit divers have been combing the waters of Potters Key since about 7:30 last night when the vehicle plunged into the waters at the eastern end of Potters Key dock. Now, police say the car was occupied by a single male when the incident took place. They're questioning a number of persons, including individuals on a boat which had just arrived into Potters Key around the time of the incident. Here's what police told us right after we arrived on the scene.
It is believed that the driver of the vehicle was at Potters Key dock to collect a family member when it's believed that the incident occurred. Once police received information of the incident, police along with our colleagues from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force responded, and we worked hand in hand with the staff of the Lady Matilda vessel to retrieve the vehicle from the water. At present, police, along with the assistance of others, are right now trying to locate the victim in this particular matter.
An armed robbery suspect was shot and killed in Grand Bahama today while his alleged accomplice is in police custody. Police say the incident occurred shortly after 11 o'clock this morning. Police received information that a business establishment in the Circle Mall, West Atlantic Drive, was being robbed by 2 masked men. When police arrived on the scene, they observed the armed culprits trying to flee the scene. One of the men ran to the rear of the establishment, and the second man got into a waiting vehicle while firing gunshots at police. Now, police say they returned fire and the suspect vehicle crashed. Upon checking the vehicle, police discovered one of the fleeing suspects with gunshot injuries. Emergency crews later arrived and provided medical assistance to the injured suspect, but he died of his injuries. Meantime, police are searching for the driver of the vehicle. Police also found an illegal pistol and ammunition in the vehicle and recovered a quantity of jewelry believed to be the property of the business establishment at the rear of the Circle Mall. The High Court has upheld the conviction and dismissed the appeal of armed robber Michael Fowler. Fowler was hoping the court would overturn his conviction and 20-year sentence for robbing a business establishment back in November of 2005. During today's proceedings, he suggested his case was one of mistaken identity, arguing the 2 prosecution witnesses were wrong when they identified him as the man who committed the crime. Fowler also stressed that the judge allowed hearsay evidence during the trial. In the end, the court agreed that the judge misdirected the jury by telling them they could convict Fowler if they were satisfied he looked like the man who committed the crime, rather than telling them the Crown had to prove Fowler was the armed robber. Director of Public Prosecutions Vanette Graham-Allen agreed that the judge misdirected the jury. However, she asked the court not to interfere with the conviction due to the overwhelming evidence against Fowler. The court then dismissed Fowler's appeal and affirmed his conviction, citing the overwhelming evidence against him. Fowler was convicted back in September of 2008. He'll now continue to serve that 20-year sentence at Fox Hill Prison. A Supreme Court judge has set a new trial date in the murder case of contractor Prince Hepburn, who is charged with the April 7th stabbing death of 42-year-old Nellie Mae Brown Cox last April. Hepburn's trial was scheduled to start back in August before Justice Indira Charles, but was postponed because Justice Charles is currently presiding over the John Bull armed robbery trial, which has been going on for 4 months now. 49-year-old Hepburn is accused of stabbing Cox multiple times about the body following a domestic dispute at her Bougainvillea Boulevard apartment. She died at the scene. Meantime, prosecutors are expected to begin their opening statements to a jury February 20th of next year. Attorney Murillo Ducil is defending Hepburn. Well, get ready for another exciting season of Junkanoo. Many changes are on tap, including 12 days of Junkanoo being organized by the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. JCNP Chairman Silbert Ferguson spoke with Janaea Noel Ferguson about some operational changes to the parade, which become effective starting this Junkanoo season.
The face of Junkanoo may totally change as the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence, or JCNP, hopes to implement several new plans for this year's Junkanoo season. The first, reducing the number of judges from 90 to 65 for a tighter and quicker parade. Additionally, JCNP Chairman Silbert Ferguson anticipates a change in the way scoring is done.
We are going from writing scores to using a smartphone to send the scores in. This will eliminate a lot of things on Bay Street. The boxes that used to travel behind the groups to drop the scores, there will no longer be the need for that. The minute you put the score in, it hits, it goes right to the server, and it lines up under the group.
And if the online system fails, Ferguson says Plan B is already in place.
The score is stored in the phone. If there is a backup, we can always go and download the scores into the system.
While technological advances are on tap for this year's Junkanoo Parade, officials say the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium is the set venue for the pre-judging event set to take place on December 22nd. It's a deadline that Junkanooers might find hard to meet.
Our whole deadline in our heads is the morning of December 26th. And now we have been asked to have these costumes prepared for December 22nd. It's a massive undertaking to move costumes from the shacks that we are in, to have them transported now to a venue to be judged, and then have them protected for 2 or 3 days, and then transported to Bay Street for the parades.
Ferguson believes the pre-judging event will also give judges a greater appreciation for costumes that sometimes takes months to construct.
The judges will get a better view of the costumes sitting still. They can walk around it, take their time, and inspect the craftsmanship, the work, the design that has been done to the costume. That's 40%. The 60% will happen in the performance of the costume. And as you know, this year, the Junkanoo Corporation groups voted unanimously to change one of the rules on lead costumes, and that is to remove the 2 wheels, not actually remove them, but to increase the wheels to 4 wheels on the lead costumes, just to protect the persons who are carrying these costumes.
Janaea Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.